baby, it has happened. White smoke is coming out of the chimney at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill. The Minnesota Vikings have hired their new general manager, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Woo! Feels good, man. And Ryan Poles, you're dead to me, but whatever. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah resume. 40 years old, even though the Cleveland Plains dealer said he was 32. Whatever. A bachelor's from Princeton, master's from Stanford. He is a very educated man. A portfolio manager at Taylor Woods Capital, not Taylor Mason Capital, although that would be pretty sweet. A VP at Credit Suisse, commodities trader, back in the day. Got involved in the NFL 2013, Niners manager of football R&D. 2017 got bumped up to director of football R&D. Was given a lot of credit by GM John Lynch for helping stockpile the talent that they have in San Francisco now. 2020, Andrew Berry took over the Browns and brought Kwesi along as the VP of football operations, working hand in glove. Now the question is, what kind of GM is Kwesi going to be? Since he comes from a mathematical economics background, is he going to go full on Moneyball on the bit? Probably not. I think the Vikings organization, though, is going to become a full-time collaboration again. And this is from an interview with the Browns website from 2 years ago explaining his style of leadership. Kwesi said this, quote, "I think my background was a positive because I did not have any preconceived notions or biases. When I sat in a room with great evaluators that I have been around in San Francisco, I just took everything they told me. I tried to find the intuition behind it. I ask why a lot. You will find that out about me. I wanted to know even the most simple question. You might think it is simple, but I am building the complex bridge that will get me somewhere complex. I will pick every person's brain. You find some amazing knowledge from everywhere in this league. I would say that is where my evaluation base comes from." And that is a leader. That is a leader speaking, not a dictator, because a true leader asks questions. He values the opinions of those around him. Yes, the GM does have the final word, and it is his ass on the line. Buck stops with them, but it's a group collaboration. Plus, the Vikings have a ton of brain power still in front office. Jamal Stevenson, Ryan Mowens, Rob Thug Life Brzezinski. That's right. And here's what Browns GM Andrew Berry said about Cam in a Chicago Tribune piece. Number one, it's his general cognitive abilities. He's a super, super bright guy, and that comes across within the first 2 minutes that you meet him. Number two, and probably just as importantly, it's just people skills. You could see how he had been able to build relationships across a number of different groups during his time in San Francisco in a role that can be very challenging because you have to be able to not only develop analytic insights, but communicate them and get people to buy in. And then the other thing was just his breadth of understanding of the sport and football operations. So even though he had formally just led the 49ers research group, you could tell that he understood team building, people, relationships, managerial skills at a much higher level. So I love the idea of marrying modern day analytics and old school scouting. I think that you do have to have that in the modern game. It's the yin and the yang. It's the sweet and the sour. It's the Loggins and Messina. You need both. Right. And look at the Browns' last two drafts where Kwesi was in the war room. Love the studs early. Jedrick Wills and Greg Newsome the second. Absolute studs out of the gate. Getting Joke in the second was a steal. Grant Delpit, after he came back from that Achilles, is pretty damn good. And tons of value all over the board. And look at how the Browns built their team. They invested in the trenches, especially the offensive line. Not afraid to put money and capital into that line. The results is the best offensive line in football. And Kwesi already has a head start in building a bully in the Minnesota Movement Company. You have bookend tackles in O'Neal and Darisaw. You have an intriguing player in Ezra Cleveland, year 3. And also Wyatt Davis is the ultimate wild card now that he's out from underneath the Zimmer regime. And the Browns have been in very good cap shape in 2 years under Andrew Berry, minus the Baker 5th-year option that they picked up. But it also does open up the clear line of communication between Kwesi and Berry for Kirk Cousins to the Browns. Coaching-wise, we talked about this in a previous video, but connections, all these are from San Francisco. D'Amico Ryans, Kevin O'Connell, Mike LeFleur, younger brother of the 12-year-old boy, so I guess he's the 10-year-old boy. Mike McDaniel, Mike McD, Mike Jones, Jim Harbaugh, and Vic Fangio, of course. And the obvious connection is D'Amico Ryans. Niners DC, he and Kwesi had 3 years of overlap with San Francisco. Mike McDaniel, by the way, will be a bomb-ass offensive coordinator. And yeah, Shanahan could block the move, but he did let passing game coordinator Mike LeFleur go to the Jets with Rob Saleh when they got that job last year. So there is some precedent. I like that Shanahan likes to see his guys grow, and Mike McDaniel would be a lot of fun as the Vikings OC. And the Vikings also interviewed Kevin O'Connell, had some overlap with Kwesi in San Francisco for 1 year. Harbaugh is still out there, even though I don't know. But Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is an absolute home run hire for the Vikings, and who may have wanted Poles. Maybe it was neck and neck. Who really knows? But Poles went to the Bears. He's dead to us. We hate him with the fury of 1,000 suns, but both were fantastic candidates, and I love that the Vikings are looking to the future rather than the past. It starts now. It all starts now, and the Vikings, I think they got a great one. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. Cam, let's go, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings hire Kwesi Adofo-Mensah as their new general manager. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.